Silverstone is delivering everything. Lewis Hamilton walked into his home race and reminded the entire grid exactly who owns this place. The sprint start was absolute chaos. Ferrari just did something they haven't done all season, and these 2026 cars, they're crawling through the fastest corners on Earth. Let me catch you up on the wildest weekend of the year so far. Let's go. Let's start with the king of Silverstone. Because Lewis Hamilton has been on another planet this weekend, it started in practice. Hamilton, a 9-time winner at this track, topped the only practice session, beating championship leader Kimi Antonelli by 0.2 with his own teammate Leclerc more than half a second back, and Lewis played it down like he always does here. "Don't expect too much," he said. Then sprint qualifying happened, and he didn't just beat Mercedes, and he beat the entire grid by the thinnest margin you'll ever see. Pole position by 11,000ths of a second over Antonelli. Martin Brundle called it a classic Lewis Hamilton Silverstone lap. This is his first pole in any format since China last year, and it comes 3 weeks after winning in Barcelona. The man is on fire at exactly the right time, and here's what makes it sweeter. Behind him, in eye-catching top 3, Hamilton, then Antonelli, then a resurgent Verstappen in 3rd for Red Bull. But the story nobody saw coming, Ferrari out-qualifying Mercedes for the very first time all season, 1 week after their Austria humiliation. That's the comeback nobody predicted, so the open question going into the sprint: could the greatest Silverstone driver in history convert home pole into something special? Well, hold that thought. Story 2, and it's the redemption arc nobody expected this fast. Rewind 7 days, Austria. Ferrari brings a new engine. Everyone expects progress, and instead they collapse to the 4th fastest team. Hamilton calls it a brutal reality check. The German press mocks them. Bild literally wrote, Ferrari, that's what they get. So what did Ferrari do? They fired back hard. They brought a proper upgrade package to Silverstone, an updated low-drag Macarena rear wing, a new diffuser aimed at one thing, but straight-line speed, and it worked. Ferrari outqualified Mercedes for the first time all season, and Hamilton grabbed pole, but it's not all sunshine, and this is where we stay honest. This turnaround has Toto Wolff throwing shade. After Austria, the Mercedes boss said he was surprised Ferrari can throw such massive upgrades at the car, and added, "Equal rules for everyone, hopefully." Translation: he's raising an eyebrow at Ferrari's spending under the budget cap. Ferrari's Vasseur has already fired back at the remarks, so the paddock war is real, on track and off it. If you're loving this Ferrari-Mercedes chess match, smash that like button. It pushes this to more real F1 fans. Now the part you came for, the sprint. Story 3, the sprint itself. And what a story it turned out to be, because this was a generational duel. The 19-year-old championship leader versus the 7-time world champion in front of the champion's own home crowd. It kicked off with a heart-stopping start, lights out, and Antonelli and Hamilton went side by side into the first corner, so close they nearly touched. Antonelli held the lead, and behind them, instant chaos. Verstappen got swallowed up, dropping all the way to 6th, while Norris, Piastri, and Russell came storming through. Then came the main event. Hamilton hunted Antonelli for lap after lap. He got within overtake range, 1.2 seconds, the crowd roaring, sensing the pass coming. But every time Lewis got close, the kid answered. Antonelli put in the fastest lap of the race, managed his electrical deployment perfectly, and edged back out of reach. Ice cold at 19 years old, with the greatest Silverstone driver ever breathing down his neck. Behind them, the real war. Norris broke free to grab a lonely 3rd, a home podium for the McLaren man, but P4 through P7 was a knife fight. Verstappen, Russell, Piastri, and Leclerc swapping positions again and again, with Stowe Corner becoming the overtaking spot of the day. Russell was on a charge in the 2nd Mercedes, slicing past car after car. And more Cadillac heartbreak. Sergio Perez pulled off with his brakes literally on fire again when the checkered flag fell. Antonelli, Hamilton, Norris. And here's what makes it huge. It's Antonelli's first ever sprint victory. The teenager beats the legend on the legend's home turf and grabs a milestone win doing it. So here's the question that sets up Sunday perfectly, and Hamilton had the pole, the crowd, and the pace, but couldn't find a way past. Can he flip it in the real Grand Prix over a full race distance, or is Antonelli building a championship that's simply bulletproof under pressure? Drop your call in the comments, Hamilton or Antonelli for Sunday. And now the story that affected every single one of those laps, the one the drivers warned us about all week. They said these 2026 cars would struggle at Silverstone. They were right. Remember Verstappen laughing in the simulator saying, "You barely have battery around the lap." Remember Alonso calling Beckett's a charging station? Well, now we have the numbers, and they're brutal. Hamilton's pole lap, the fastest lap of the weekend, was 3.5 seconds slower than Verstappen's pole from 2025, 3.5 seconds, and it's not the corners that got slower, it's the fastest ones. Through Abbey, the cars were around 34 kilometers an hour slower than last year. Through the legendary Maggots and Beckett's complex, nearly 30 kilometers an hour down. The drivers are flat on the throttle, and the car simply has no electrical power left to give. This is the reality of the new hybrid era. On a high-speed track, the temple of speed turned into an energy-saving puzzle. Some fans hate it, but George Russell, the lone optimist, thinks all this chaos makes the racing more unpredictable, a tactical survival game. And after that sprint start, he might have a point. So the real question for the future, is this the new normal? Or does the FIA need to act before these iconic corners lose their magic forever? Drop your take below. So let's put this weekend together because it's been a roller coaster. Hamilton reminding everyone he's the master of Silverstone. Ferrari roaring back from humiliation to beat Mercedes. A chaotic sprint where a 19-year-old kid outnerved the 7-time champion on his own turf. And cars so starved of power, they're crawling through the fastest corners on the planet. And the best part? The main event hasn't even happened yet. Everything so far has just been the warm-up for Sunday. Because Sunday is where it all gets decided. Can Hamilton finally grab that record-breaking 10th home win? Can Antonelli keep the pressure off? Can Ferrari back up the hype? If you want the full race breakdown the second it's over, subscribe to Max Throttle. I've got you covered all weekend. The paddock never sleeps, and neither do we. Stay on Throttle.